Hey team, question for you. We started a Facebook group for our customers, mostly because I love your group and made a product marketer on my team look at it. Who manages it on your team? Is it your baby? This wasn't the first time someone asked me a question about Ahrefs Insider, our private Facebook group for Ahrefs customers. Some people want to know how we started that group and why, others are wondering how we grew it to over 11,000 members, and Ethan was interested in how we're managing it as of today. So in this episode, I'm going to share how we built an active Facebook community of 11,000 members and why you should consider building one around your own product too. Let's go! Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim Solo and you're watching SaaS Marketing Vlog, a place where I'm showing you the behind the scenes of how we do marketing at Ahrefs. So why did we decide to create a community in the first place? What were our goals and how did we plan to achieve them? Well, in all honesty, there wasn't much science behind this decision. I mean, we didn't do any SWOT analysis or anything.
SWOT is a way of evaluating a decision, and you just break it down into strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
You're joking.
As usual, we relied on common sense, and common sense was telling us three things. First, the fans of Ahrefs needed a place to get together and chat. Shortly after joining Ahrefs in 2015, I realized that the company had quite a few fans and evangelists who were quite vocal on social media. But those fans didn't have a single place to get together and communicate. So the need for a community was kind of obvious. Second, you have to talk to your customers. A community that is built around your product is a great way to bridge the gap between your customers and your product and marketing teams. In the 5 years that we've been running our group, we've managed to crowdsource a ton of great ideas that helped our company grow. And finally, a community will likely remove some strain from your customer support team and improve your user retention. Think about it. For every customer who doesn't understand something about your product, there's likely another customer who has figured it out already. So if you bring the users of your product together in one place, they will be able to help each other without the need for you to even get involved. And because the members of your community are helping each other publicly, they're also educating the rest of your community that sees those conversations, which then leads to better adoption of your product among your customers and therefore improves your user retention. Other than those three things, I myself was a member of quite a few SEO and marketing related groups back in the day, some of which were built around software company brands. That's why launching a Facebook community for Ahrefs seemed like a no-brainer to me. But why Facebook though? Well, back in the day there was no Discord and Slack wasn't as popular as it is today. So the only alternative that we had was a private forum, which we thought was a little bit old-fashioned. And that's why we chose Facebook. If you try joining Ahrefs Insider, you'll be prompted to specify your account email at Ahrefs. This way our moderators can verify that you are a paying customer, because otherwise you're not going to be accepted to our group. And we're very strict about that, so much so that we end up declining nearly 10 times more people than we let in. There are three reasons why we restricted our Facebook community to our paying customers only. First of all, this is an amazing way to filter out spammers, lurkers, tire kickers and all sorts of random people who have no real interest in your product. The less strict you are with who you let into your group, the more time you're going to spend moderating it later on. Secondly, people who bear the monthly cost of a professional SEO tool are likely to have a somewhat similar amount of SEO knowledge and therefore a somewhat similar set of SEO challenges compared to those who can justify being a paying customer. This means that people in our group are dead serious about SEO and will keep their conversations on point. And finally, and obviously, this creates the fear of missing out among people who were denied access to our group, which motivates some of these people to learn more about Ahrefs and hopefully become our paying customers as a result. All in all, I think if we weren't so strict with our admission rules, our group could easily be 3 times as large. But growing its size was never our priority. Our priority from the start was to keep the quality of conversations high and maximize the value that our customers get from that group. Speaking of which, Every new post submitted to our group goes to the moderation queue and won't get published until one of our moderators approves it. This is obviously quite bad for engagement, because who wants to wait hours and sometimes days for their post to get approved? But we're worried that if we stop the pre-moderation, our group will quickly turn into the wild, wild west. So here are the 3 things that are not allowed in our group. First of all, self-promotion. It is the biggest no-no in our community. I myself had quite a few awkward conversations with my friends where I had to delete their posts and explain to them that I love them a lot, but I won't be opening that Pandora's box.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
I mean, if we let a single person promote their stuff in our group, we'll get flooded with requests from other members to promote their stuff too, which is something we don't really want to deal with. Secondly, requests for technical support. We understand that at times it can be quite convenient for our customers to post their issue to our Facebook group rather than start a chat with our support team. And, as I mentioned earlier, in many cases our customers can help each other without us having to get involved. But if the issue is something along the lines of not being able to restore a password or perhaps a failed payment, why would 11,000 members of our community want to know about that? So we only approve technical support questions that could potentially be interesting to many other members of our community. And finally, promoting our competitors. Hey Ahrefs, I saw this amazing feature in Moz, SEMrush, Majestic, and I think it's pretty lame that you don't have it. I mean, seriously? Can't you make a feature request without promoting our competitor in front of a community of our customers? And in case you want to debate the pros and cons of different competing solutions, you can always do that in some neutral community, like Reddit, for example. One thing you have to be very careful with, though, is moderating bad feedback and criticism. I mean, if you only allow people to post good things about you and delete all the bad ones, you'll quickly lose trust of your community. And besides, we'd rather have our customers vent in our community, where we have lots of fans and support, rather than delete their post and have them go somewhere else and vent there twice as hard. Back when we launched our Facebook group, we decided that we're not going to use it to promote our blog articles or our YouTube videos. I mean, if our community members wanted to get updates from our blog, they would go and sign up for our blog newsletter, right? By the way, if you're enjoying this video series, you should pause this video, find the red subscribe button underneath it, click it, and also click the bell icon that would appear right next to it. And thank you. So with 11,000 members in our Facebook group, it is super tempting to promote our content there. But we're holding off. We only allow ourselves the luxury of promoting a piece of content in our community if there is something particularly unique about it. Usually that would be some research study that is based on our proprietary data. But even then, not every research study that we publish in our blog makes it to our Facebook group. We only promote the very best ones. Tim, but if you cannot post your own content to your own group, what should you even post there? Thanks for the question, Mark. Most of the things that we post to Ahrefs Insider fall into one of the following 3 categories. First, new feature announcements. Whenever you add something new to your product, you need to let your customers know about it, right? And if you want to reach all of your customers, you have to fire from all cannons. In-app notification, email update, tweet, a post in your community, etc. One thing we'll love about posting feature announcements in our community is that we get instant feedback from our customers. A few times, because of that instant feedback, we actually had to roll back that feature.
Oh, where are we going? Wrong way.
Oopsie, not working.
Second category, polls and open-ended questions. Whenever our team has doubts about something, we often create a poll to see where our audience gravitates. To be completely honest, we wouldn't always proceed to do what our users have voted for, but knowing their opinion helps us a lot in making the right decision. And finally, little-known features and tips on getting the most out of Ahrefs. Even those of our customers who have been with us for years might not know about some of the features that we have, let alone the people who only joined us a few months ago. So most of the time when we post a short tip on using Ahrefs, it is very well received. And that's pretty much it. As you can see, most of our posts are very much product focused. And in most cases, we don't just post to notify our community about something, but rather to get some feedback from them. And I'm sure the members of our community appreciate it, that we value their opinion and that we ask for it quite regularly. Oh, and there's one recurring thread that we post to our group once a month. It's called SEO speed dating, and we use it to connect our customers who provide SEO services with those who might need those services. This is a great way to collect all that self-promotion in one place, and it doesn't irritate anyone. But other than posting your own stuff, it is very important to make sure that other members of your community get replies when they post something. I mean, if someone posts a question to your group and gets no answer, what are the odds of them posting there again? So in the early days of our Facebook community, I myself was spending quite a few hours every day to communicate with people and make sure that no post in our community was left without an answer. Later on, as your community becomes bigger, it will be much more hands-off. But you have to achieve that initial traction early on by participating in as many conversations as you possibly can. And the final question that I want to answer in this episode is, how did we grow our Facebook community to over 11,000 members? Well, in order to grow a community, you need to do two things. First, get a consistent stream of new members. Second, retain those members and keep them engaged. I'm sure you've noticed that I didn't mention any ways of promoting your community in this video. And that's because our own community was built around our product, which means that the acquisition part was as simple as inviting every new paying customer of Ahrefs to join our group on Facebook. In other words, we didn't have a challenge of driving new people to our community. Our challenge was to retain them so that our community would be live and active. And I hope I was able to explain how we solved the challenge with all the tips that I shared in this video. That's it! Thanks for watching this episode of SaaS Marketing Vlog. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel. You have no idea how much it means to me. We publish new videos every 2 weeks, so I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!